Hi everyone, I'm John C. Morley, the host of the J Moore Tech Talk Show and Inspirations for Your Life. Well, hey everyone, it is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. We've been changing things around a little bit here on the show. We're going to be doing the show on Friday. Might not necessarily be 5 or 5:30, but it will be sometime on Friday, just like we do with the Inspirations for Your Life show, because life happens, right? All right, everyone. Welcome to the J Moore Tech Talk Show. And if you guys are wondering, well, first of all, I want to say thank you to everyone for coming today. It is October 4th, 2024, everyone, and welcome, welcome, and welcome. Whether you're with me live right now at 2 p.m., 2 a.m., 6 a.m., 6 p.m., maybe 12 noon or 12 midnight, it is so great to have you with me on the J Moore Tech Talk Show. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure if you guys know this, but yes, we are in Series 3 right now. And in addition to being in Series 3, I'm going to tell you what our topic is. It's tech turmoil. AI trainers, privacy battles, and the rise of self-cleaning toilets. Series 3, Show 40. Yeah, I said that. The rise of self-cleaning toilets. We'll get in that in just a minute. But do take a moment to go grab that favorite beverage of yours, whether it's water, whether it's soda or alcohol. Go get yourself a snack. Whether it's fruit, whether it's chocolate, whether it's good for you, whether it's not good for you. Hey, we don't judge here. Just get yourself something and hurry on back because we want to start the show. And I've got a lot of nuggets to share with you that I think are going to just blow your mind. That's right. Get back from that fridge. Get back from that bar. Let's get the show started, everyone. All right. So thinking about what's going on in technology, there's always things going on. So again, I do want to welcome you. We're going to dive into this week's episode of the J Moore Tech Talk Show for a very deep dive into the tech's latest drama. That's right. You heard me say drama. There's always drama in technology, from Apple's exit with OpenAI to self-cleaning public toilets in Paris. So let's not miss the inside scoop on the biggest headlines and trends. So just stay right where you are with your drink, with your snack, with your piece of fruit, whatever you got. Let's catch the latest episode today, bringing you everything you need to know about the tech world right in the comfort and privacy of your own home, your business, or maybe you're just listening to me on the road while you're traveling. Either way, I'm here for you. So we're going to start out with the future of AI, privacy challenges, and what's new with smart homes and cybersecurity. We stream within 24 hours on Podbean, and we became a full actual podcast. We're now over 15,000 people, so it's great to have you with me, and I'm so grateful for that. Do check out BelieveMeAchieve.com for more of my amazing, inspiring creations. All right, everyone, are you ready? Let's kick this off. So first thing I want to talk about is AI improving with specialized human trainers. So if you're thinking right now that AI is very smart and it's great, well, it's not because of AI. It's thanks to smarter human trainers. So models such as those developed by Cohere and OpenAI have shifted from relying on basic human input to requiring more specialized human trainers with advanced knowledge to refine and avoid errors known as hallucinations. Companies like Invisible Tech provide these trainers who range from physicians to financial analysts, helping train AI models across a diverse set of fields. The growing demand for such trainers, now seen as very crucial in improving AI accuracy and effectiveness, has led to a highly competitive market. Invisible Tech, for example, employs thousands of experts globally and partners with major AI firms, including Microsoft and AI 21. So really interesting stuff that's going on right now, everyone. And, AI is creating a whole new job world for people that are experts in their industry so they can go ahead and train an AI engine. So, another thing on the news, ladies and gentlemen, is Apple, yes, exits the OpenAI funding talks. What the heck's going on with that? Well, Apple decided to drop out of the talks of joining the OpenAI investment round. Apple has withdrawn from negotiation to participate in an OpenAI funding round expected to raise $6.5 billion, according to a report by the Wall Street Journal and others. The decision comes shortly after initial reports in August suggested Apple's involvement. Microsoft, which has already invested $13 billion in OpenAI, is expected to contribute an additional $1 billion, and other companies like Nvidia are also in talks. OpenAI's latest funding efforts could value the company above, everybody ready? $100 billion. Driven by the AI boom spurred by the launch of ChatGPT in late 2022, both Apple and OpenAI, of course, have declined to comment. Now, of course, they have. And ladies and gentlemen, the SEC charges Mango markets over unregistered crypto. Yeah, if you're playing with crypto, you're going to get burned. So the US SEC charges Mango markets with offering unregistered crypto tokens. And the SEC has charged Mango, DAO, Blockworks Foundation, and Mango Labs LLC for the unregistered sale of crypto assets, specifically MNGO, governance tokens on the Mango Markets platform. Now, the entities have raised over $70 million from investors without registering with the SEC, depriving them of federal securities protection. That's number one. And Mango DAO and Blockworks Foundations were charged for violating the Securities Act, while Blockworks Foundation and Mango Labs were charged for unregistered broker activities. The companies have agreed to settle by paying nearly $700,000 in penalties, destroying the MNGO tokens and removing them from trading platforms. Yeah, I guess they decided to do that because it might have been a real bear if they kept getting charged penalties, and they might have been put behind bars. So I think they probably got off easy. And yep, we're dipping into the meta world again. That's right, Meta. Meta was fined 91 million pounds for password storage issues. Ouch, Meta, ouch. Yes, Meta has been fined 91 million pounds by the Irish Data Protection Commission for failing to implement proper password security measures and delaying the notification of a breach involving Facebook and Instagram users. The breach, which affected 36 million users across the European Economic Area, occurred in January of 2019, but it wasn't reported until March of 2019. Now, Meta acknowledged the issue, stating that some passwords were stored in a readable format, but took immediate action to resolve it with no evidence of misuse. This fine is part of a broader regulatory set of efforts to hold tech giants accountable for privacy violations. We're not just talking about Facebook and Meta. We're talking about Google. We're talking about Amazon. We're talking about Yahoo. We're talking about all the big giants that use and store data. So I'm glad to see that they are, starting to clamp down on this because, the problem with these companies is they have some money and they think they can do whatever they want. And that's exploiting you and I, as well as our own, privacy and security. And that's a really big issue, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, a serious, serious, serious big issue. So definitely I'm happy that they are, moving on and being able to take care of this. And ladies and gentlemen, in other news, there is a new software that curbs unauthorized hallway presences in schools. What the heck is this about, ladies and gentlemen? So first of all, I don't know if you guys remember, but when I went to high school, we were basically a preparatory high school, which meant that the high school was very close to college in the requirements and how things operated. So the way we operated at my private school, which had about 240 students, and each class, so the freshman class, had probably no more than maybe, I'm going to say 80 students with about 20 students per homeroom. We had 4 homerooms. So the way you moved around in a typical, let's say, high school environment was that you would usually come in, you would go to your locker, you would get your books, and then you wouldn't have your homeroom period first, which we used to have that always, when you were in grammar school, right? You always had homeroom and then you went right into your class and you didn't start moving around classrooms until you were probably in fifth or sixth grade, but your homeroom was always first. Well, what they did at my school was you started in the morning, and usually as a freshman, you had your homeroom first. When you got on to being a sophomore, a junior, and a senior, well, then they kind of stepped it up a little bit. And they might start your first class with English, or maybe with science, or maybe with religion, or whatever. And then your third period class was actually your homeroom class. So this was pretty cool because you'd have your books and then you'd go to homeroom, and then after homeroom we generally would have like a little break or a little recess. But I thought it was cool how this worked. Now, the way they did this was that everyone's schedule fit into three different lunch periods. I think one lunch period was like at 11:30. There was another lunch period that was at 12:30. I think there was another lunch period at like 1 or 1:30. So in order to move around the halls, you had to have what they called a hall pass. The only time you were allowed to move was on what we called the transition to the mod. So you had the hour, you had the 50 minutes past the hour, you had the half hour, and then you had quarter to the hour. So the way it worked is 3 minutes before the mod started, you were able to move around. So that meant that, let's say we were taking the time of 10 o'clock in the morning. That meant that at 9:57 a.m. I could move around. That meant that at 10:13 I could move around. Okay. At 10:23 I could move around. Okay. And at 10:22, excuse me, 10:20. It was actually 10 o'clock. So 9:57, and then 10:13, and then it was 10:27, and then it was 10:42. So you're moving on the 3 minutes of the hours, how it worked of every hour, the half past, the quarter, and the quarter to the hour. So if you moved any other time, you need to have a hall pass. So we had basically, it was a small school, so we had two floors, the lower floor and the upper floor, and the head of gym class, they called it physical education back then to make it more professional sounding. They had this one gentleman that would be sitting right at a desk, and he could just like peer all the way down and just see everybody that was moving. Same thing upstairs. There was a lady who was the assistant to him, and she would do the same thing upstairs. And as soon as the mod started, like it was in its start period, so if you were, let's say it was 10 o'clock, you needed to be in your class. It was 10 o'clock and like you were walking to class, they weren't going to bother you, okay? But you better be in your class by that 10 o'clock or that 10:01 or that start of that mod within 1 minute. If not, the person at the end of the hall is going to say your first name, like John. Where are you going? I'm going to art class. Okay, well, you better get there. It's already in the mod. And generally that worked fine. But then if you were kind of like jerking around at your locker and decided to clean it out, well, that wasn't the time to do that. Or if you were near the library, which was very close to my locker, I would say, I'm going to the library. We'll get there. If you had to get somewhere really far, well, then that would be a problem because you couldn't make it there very quickly. And anybody that caused problems in our library, I still remember to this day, as soon as you would get in there, she would just take everything, she would go out, out, out. And so you wanted to make sure that you behaved in the library, because if you needed that card to be able to get in quick, you could. The other thing about the library is that if you were somebody that didn't cause trouble and you had to go see like your guidance counselor or go to the CAF or go somewhere, I could ask the librarian, may I have a pass to the restroom? May I have a pass to my guidance counselor? May I have a pass to the cafeteria? Okay. And as long as your period was what they call a free period, you could move. If you were there for a library class, well, then she wasn't going to let you do that. If it was for the restroom, and she made sure that she understood the people that caused trouble. And the people that caused trouble, if you asked for a pass, you were not getting a pass. The only thing you were going to get to is sent to the principal's office. And don't think they didn't do that. They did that. So people that would come into the library that had a reputation for disrupting the academic environment, well, they would just say out. I don't want you here. You're out. So that was a problem for some people. And then that meant you were back in the hallway. And then the disciplinarian would be like, where are you going? Well, I couldn't stay there. Well, why not? A librarian wouldn't let me stay. Well, I bet you better get somewhere or you're going to have detention with me on Saturday. And so that's how it works. So there's a new software solution that is stopping planned encounters and unauthorized hall presences in schools. So what would happen is I didn't smoke, but some of the bathrooms were always filled with people congregating to meet for a smoke, especially freshmen. When they went there, the junior, senior class would always try to get them to smoke. And so the disciplinarian right there on the bottom floor was literally a few feet from the men's lavatory. And so if he happened to notice a few people going in there and they weren't coming out, be a couple seconds, he would literally just walk right in there and say, what are we doing? And he also could smell the smoke. So he was really at the top of his game, and it was pretty interesting. So again, they wanted to prevent that. Obviously, things for reasons like congregating for anything that would not be considered legal, smoking, anything that would be bad, drugs, etc. So that was the reason there. Any kind of planned encounters, people hanging in the hallway that shouldn't be in the hallway. If I need to clean out my locker and I had to get a pass, well, I would have had to got a special permission pass, which allows me to be at my locker. And that's something that very few people would execute. Okay, there had to be a really good reason for that. It could have been maybe you were sick and you had to clean your locker out so you could find your books or things like that, and you just got back. So there might be a reason like that. We had our bottom lockers and we had our top locker. So you basically press the lever on the bottom and then it opened your top locker. The one number would open the bottom, and if you were the one to the right, it would open the top locker. So Arbor Hills Junior High School in Sylvania, Ohio, transformed its student monitoring system by implementing SmartPass. One of the solutions out there are many. They started in the 2023 school year, and they faced a lot of challenges with student behavior, unauthorized restroom meetups, and excessive class absences. So the schools sought a solution like this to ensure safety and discipline. Now, SmartPass, as well as other solutions similar to it, address these issues by monitoring hallway presence and preventing restroom encounters and limiting excessive bathroom breaks, resulting in improved student behavior, reduced disruptions, and of course, quote unquote, more instructional time, which is why we're there for anyway, right? To learn. The program has customizable pass limits and detailed reports on time lost, provided valuable insights, enabling the staff to make data-driven decisions, and they were able to successfully implement this solution. And they claim it's fostered a more learning environment with staff and students alike appreciating the positive impact of SmartPass. I remember some teachers, I would go to the room and I'd ask for a pass and they would say no pass. But because I rarely asked for one, I didn't cause trouble, they would write me a pass. Okay. They just had their list of people that were a problem. And if you were a problem child in that room, you were not getting a pass. The only place you were getting sent to was the principal's office or the guidance office. Those were the two disciplinary areas. And so, when we think about this, I was getting a lot of feedback on TikTok and Facebook about, the fact that this stuff really doesn't work very well. And I get what they're saying, that, it doesn't work very well. But I got to tell you, That was the old system. The old system was when you had to have a computer and everybody be at the computer. Well, now they can put this thing on the computer, they can put it on a smartphone, and they can easily issue smart passes. So the passes now are basically digital. So what happens is if you're there and I need a pass to the restroom, well, they would put my name in. They would put the request to go to the restroom. If I requested now, it's, let's say we're already in mod, it's 2:19, and mod's not gonna, be ending this 15-minute block until a while, right? So 30 to 90, so till basically it basically will come down to like 2:27. So I've got some time in that mod. So what I didn't tell you is that classes went anywhere from, let's say a class could be 15 minutes, it could be 30 minutes, it could be 45 minutes, it could be 60 minutes, okay? Could be 90 minutes. It was all broken up into mods, 15-minute chunks. And that's how college worked. They also had something called, in our class, we had 5 days. Obviously, you went to school. But we actually operated on something called, I believe it was a 7-day schedule. So you might say, John, that's very confusing. Well, it is a little confusing, especially when, you have off for a day and you come back and you're like, well, what day is today? Is today day 1? Or, am I back? Is it today actually day 5? Because it was day 4 that I was at last time. So they literally would have a sign telling us, what day it is. And you might say, well, gee, what's the big difference? Well, it affects my schedule. It would affect what homework is due, because they would just say, well, your assignment is due the next time we meet. And if you figured you had a whole week, great. But now that they decided to change the rules, that suddenly it's day 1, well, now I have biology and I didn't do my biology homework. So you should always do your homework the night of. That's what I learned from that. And the other big thing was that gym. So in our schedule, phys ed, we still call it gym, was twice a week. And because it was twice a week, I think I had gym on day 2 and day 7. And so on my day 2, my gym time was the last period. The nice thing about that is that once I changed, which you didn't have to, because I didn't have to go back to class, I could just leave. And if I was a senior having that, well, then if we finished, I could just go right to my car and leave. But when gym was in the middle, like let's say it was 10 o'clock. So we'd be modding around 9, so 9:45, 47. We'd go down, be moving, get down there, have to get changed, and have to be on the floor, dressed and ready and prepared to do calisthenics at exactly 10 o'clock. And so when gym ended, okay, after my freshman, my sophomore year, they made it a little harder so that when gym ended, I now had to get changed, but then I had to go to math class and then I had lunch. I mean, you think if you have gym, like you want to go to lunch next. Well, sometimes you didn't have that luxury. So that's how that worked. And I have to tell you, solutions like SmartPass and other solutions out there, they're all digital. So what happens is they put my name in the computer. They request, like say I'm doing a bathroom break. They will put down bathroom break. The first thing it's going to do is tell the person how many bathroom breaks I've taken, if I've taken any today, if I've taken any per week, how many have I taken total this month? And it will tell them. They can even say how many I've taken total this year, right? So if I ask for a bathroom break, let's say I ask for 1 a day, okay? And I always seem to ask for that bathroom break in geometry class. Well, that's a flag that I'm probably just using it as an excuse. I might be using the restroom, but I probably could do it at another time. I'm just wanting to get out of geometry class, let's just say. So once they put the name in the computer, then I'm free to go outside of the mod time. And then what would happen? So we had paper slips. So it would go in the system. Then anybody there, especially the disciplinarians, would be checking, but no one would be in the hall unless you had a pass. So now what would happen is a disciplinarian would go look up the computer. He obviously knows us by first name and last name. Type our name in, put the name of the computer. But, oh, yep, John, okay, I see you have a pass. You're going to the library? Yes, sir. And so that's how it works. So you're able to see how many passes are out. You can limit the number of passes per student per time and lots of other things. So I get that a lot of people might think this is a hindrance on your personal well-being, but it's not. It's actually going to help you become better. So let me know your thoughts about that. I am really, really curious. But again, the whole thing is to implement an environment where the staff and students will appreciate it, and there'll be more learning, and there'll be less chance for any mischief or mishap, I should say. So that's really important. And ladies and gentlemen, there's another interesting thing happening. Apple's facing a narrowed privacy lawsuit over apps. Yes, Apple must face a narrowed privacy lawsuit over its apps. Apple has recently been cited for violating user privacy by collecting personal data through its proprietary apps like the App Store, Apple Music, and Apple TV. Now, while most people claim this was related to the allow apps to request to track, settings were dismissed. Claims regarding the shared device analytics were also an issue, and settings were allowed to proceed. Plaintiffs argued that Apple violated privacy agreements by collecting data despite users disabling tracking settings. And this case is part of a broader trend of lawsuits accusing major tech companies like Google, Meta, and many others. I remember going to, actually, it was a business trade show for one of the vendors that we do business with. And so with this distributor, we went there, and I remember what they said. Go to your events that you've scheduled to go to. You can go to the restroom or things like that, but you need to be at your training, and you need to be at your lunch. And if you're not, well, then you're going to get a $250 bill per night for your hotel stay. So how did they do that? Well, they put in RFID tags in the bags they gave us, or in the hats they gave us, or whatever it was, or sometimes they were stuck in the folders, and they were really sly about this. So I remember one person who was an acquaintance that I knew was from a competitor's company. He was actually in Boston. I'm from New Jersey. And I remember him telling me, "Oh man, you know what happened?" I said, "No, what happened?" He says, we played hooky on Tuesday and Wednesday because it's like a 3-day thing." And I said, "Yeah." He says, "What happened?" He says, "Well," he says, "my boss got a bill he sent us, and the four of us that took off, they actually sent my boss a bill for those 2 nights." Really? Yeah, they sent him a bill for $250, okay, per night. So that was times 2, times all 4 of us that played hooky. So he got a bill for $2,000. He was not happy. He said, "If you ever do that again, you're never going to these events." So I think it's okay that they do this, but we got to know that they're doing it, because then it's like unfair. And the whole thing about this Apple situation is that companies like Apple, Google, Meta, Amazon, and many others are basically OpenAI. They're accessing your data without your permission. So they're doing unauthorized data collection. And that is a serious problem, ladies and gentlemen. Another interesting thing I want to bring to highlights is, everybody wants to be in, right? How are the songs chosen for the EAFC, Electronic Arts FC? So each year, around 100 songs are selected for the EAFC's soundtrack, and a highly coveted spot for musicians worldwide. According to EA's president of music, Steve Schunner, the selection process involves reviewing thousands of tracks, but the ultimate decision is based on what resonates with the players. And EAFC includes popular artists like Dua Lipa and Skepta, as well as undiscovered brands. Now, one of this year's featured acts, Good Neighbors, expressed excitement about being included, highlighting how getting a song in EAFC is often a transformative moment for artists, similar to past success stories like Casabian. So I think that's a pretty neat thing to strive for. But it's interesting, how this has become, so popular. Okay. And if you're wondering what EAFC is, well, it's Electronic Arts Sports, the football club. So that's what that is all about. And definitely an interesting thing. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, Microsoft has relaunched their problematic AI screenshot tool with new privacy. Well, the question is, does it really keep privacy or does it not keep privacy? So Microsoft is set to relaunch its AI-powered screen tool, the recall in November 24, after the privacy concerns delayed its initial release. So it's coming out in November 2024. And originally was criticized as a privacy quote-unquote nightmare. The tool has been revamped, as they said, with new security measures such as encryption and opt-in features instead of being enabled by default. Recall allows users to search through their past activity via screenshots, but concerns were raised about its potential to collect sensitive data. Microsoft's improvements include biometric login for screenshot access and additional safeguards. The United Kingdom, UK's Information Commission officer is monitoring the tool, you can be sure, ahead of its release. And if there are issues, well, let's just say they're going to get more than just a talking to. They're probably going to get hit with some heavy fines. All right, so we know that it's very important for them to make sure that they don't collect sensitive data without people's permission and that it's not safeguarded improperly. So Microsoft's improvements are including this biometric login for the screenshot, and hopefully that will address the issue. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you remember what happened a while ago, CrowdStrike, a company that literally just makes me want to regurgitate. The CrowdStrike CEO apologizes for the global IT outage. You know, this is like a robber breaking into a major bank, okay, or a major department store, and then just showing him us saying, hey, you know, I robbed your store. I'm really sorry. They're not sorry. I mean, like, get a clue. So CrowdStrike's boss apologizes for the global IT outage. They have faced intense scrutiny from the U.S. Congress over this global IT outage in July that has affected 8.5 million devices, disrupting services across industries, including payment systems, flights, and hospitals. Adam Myers, a senior executive, again, apologized for the incident, describing it as a perfect storm caused by a faulty software update. Okay, before we go any further, the founders of CrowdStrike came from Norton, which I was never in love with Norton because they wasted 70 or 80% of your resources back in the 1980s. And that was the problem between them and McAfee. And so if you're going to do software, I don't care whether it's for security, I don't care if it's whether it's for entertainment or whether it's for productivity, you bloody gotta actually make sure that the software is tested in that environment, a true testing environment, right? Not a production environment. I mean, hello, right? So while lawmakers raise concerns about the implications of such a large-scale outage on a national security issue that really snowballed, they also discussed broader topics such as the role of AI in cybersecurity. And despite ongoing lawsuits, including one from Delta Airlines, that they're suing for over $500 million in losses, Congress has emphasized collaboration to prevent future incidents rather than vilifying the company. Okay, all right. So I get that you want to kind of, seem unbiased. Well, the only reason you're seeming unbiased is because the government uses CrowdStrike. Yes, hello. The government uses CrowdStrike. And so I feel that if they did vilify, it would probably come back to hurt the government. How much of the government uses CrowdStrike? Well, pretty much it's used across the entire government. Okay. And that is a big problem. The Defense Department tops a list of 16 agencies reporting a total, ladies and gentlemen, of nearly 55 million in unclassified purchases of CrowdStrike cyber protection software. It was cited as the cause of the largest global computer outage, followed by a failed update that happened. The agency's spending for CrowdStrike products rose 70% in the fiscal 2023 to $15.7 million. and from 9.3 million in the fiscal 2022, led by departments of defense, 5 million, Treasury 3.9 million, and Justice 2.9 million. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, the highest area of CrowdStrike is being used in the defense. Ouch. The second is the Treasury. Health and Human Services is the third, and then Justice is 6.4 million, and it goes down, and Homeland Security is next. But anyway, I want to share this with you because the government is just trying to not get egg in their face. That's why they are not being so, let's say, unforgiving, because they've spent a lot of taxpayers' money on software that sucks. I mean, plain English, all right? There's no better way to say that, ladies and gentlemen. It just sucks. I would never use it. I do security and forensics for a living, and I wouldn't use it if you gave it to me. Anyway, Starlink's got a potential impact on Africa, a very, very big impact on Africa, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. So as of August 2024, only 10 African countries have officially authorized Starlink, Elon Musk's satellite internet service under SpaceX, and requiring him to negotiate a country-by-country basis to expand it further. Despite Musk's recent political campaigning, he continues to push the Starlink project, which now covers over 100 countries globally. Expanding into Africa presents challenges, and as Musk must navigate complex regulations and gain approval from individual governments to succeed in this new market, they will, because again, it's all about the money. All right, here is one that I think is just, it's comical. All right. They're trying to save costs and make sure that bathrooms are sanitized quickly, and as well as save money. Well, in France, they actually have something called a self-cleaning public toilet. Yeah, you heard me correctly. A self-cleaning public toilet. So it's a fully automatic and self-cleaning public toilet. In Paris, France, this self-cleaning public toilet is becoming very popular worldwide now, addressing the common issue of unhygienic and poorly maintained public facilities. These toilets feature an automated cleaning system that disinfects the toilet bowl and floor after each use, ensuring a cleaner environment without manual intervention. Okay, so in Paris, a self-cleaning toilet is becoming very popular, and as I said, around the world. But what I want to share with you is how this works. So the self-clean toilet basically demonstrates after use, the toilet will fold into a chamber, and then it will be, hit with some very high-pressured water. And the same set of high-pressured water from different areas will clean the floor before it reopens for the next visitor. Okay, so we know that water can remove some things, but it's not going to disinfect. It's not boiling water. It doesn't have a detergent in it or anything to sanitize. So, hello, like, what are we spraying? Just water? I mean, come on. It looks clean, but it may not be very clean. Now, I don't know what they're doing actually with the bowl. I mean, I know they're spraying water. I'm hoping they're putting some sanitizing agent on that. And then they have a dryer that comes by and actually dries it. So you might wonder how we learned about this. Well, there was this gentleman that was in Paris, France. He says, I want to learn how they clean the toilets. So he picked one of these toilets on one of the side streets. It's not used very often. And he decides to mount a 360 camera in it. Yeah, this is pretty interesting. And so he mounts the 360 camera in it, hoping that the camera stays there and that he's able to get back in afterwards. Otherwise, he's screwed and he's out of a camera. And you have to wait till an attendant comes, and that could be a day or more. So he uses the restroom. He mounts the camera. He leaves the restroom. And then he waits a few minutes. He checks on his mobile device to see what's going on. And he sees that the toilet folds up. And he also sees this gush of water. But even when I've called and checked with companies, this water is not hot right now. So I think it's a beginning start, as I should say, of what's going on. But we got a lot more to do. I don't think these systems are as hygienic as we would like them to believe. All right. And ladies and gentlemen, how many of you out there know MrBeast? I mean, he has like so many views, right? MrBeast now faces a lawsuit over Prime Video show that he has been running. It's a game show. And so what's actually going on with this? Well, I had a hunch you were going to ask me that. So MrBeast, as we know, the most popular YouTuber with over 500 million fans. Let me say that again. 500 million fans and a massive business empire now faces a significant challenge with a 54-page lawsuit filed by 5 female contestants on his upcoming Prime Video show, Beast Games. Now, the lawsuit aimed at MrBeast Productions Company and Amazon alleges a toxic work environment fostering sexism, underfeeding, and mistreatment of participants. This controversy could tarnish MrBeast's image as one of the good guys on the internet. Despite his philanthropic efforts and ever-growing popularity, his response to these allegations will determine his brand future as he navigates this critical but very delicate, let's say, pathway to his future. Now, I've watched him a couple times, but what I have to tell you about him is I get that he gives money, but he's always doing something to get some response. My question is, if nobody was watching him, would he still do this? I don't know. I just see that everything he does is always on camera and people always have to revere him. So I don't know if he really has 100% philanthropic heart or if it's really just because he's trying to get viewers. My second seems to be what I believe, that he's just doing anything to get viewers. I mean, he built one of these bunkers, for what is it, where they have the nuclear reactors. And so he had these people go down. He showed them the money. They had to do all these crazy things, like hit the alarm button and even disrupt their sleep. And it was just nuts. It was literally nuts that they had a concept like this. And but people did it. So I guess people do anything for money. I think that's a little sad, if you ask me. All right. And the U.S. proposes a ban on smart cars with Chinese and Russian tech. This is interesting, ladies and gentlemen, and really gives a lot of food for thought with what's going on. So again, the U.S. is proposing a ban on smart cars with Chinese and Russian technology. The U.S. Commerce Department is proposing this ban on smart vehicles that utilize certain Chinese or Russian technology due to national security risks, including concerns over potential hacking and data collection on U.S. drivers. Now, this ban, which would apply to vehicles starting in model year 2027 for software in year 2030, and that's the hardware, I should say, 2030. So for vehicles starting 2027 for the software, and in 2030 for the hardware. And it's part of a broader effort to protect critical infrastructures from foreign threats. Now, the move, which comes amid heightened tensions between the U.S. and China over tech security, is very intense. And it's accompanied by initiatives to support U.S. auto workers with, of course, we got a political throw in here, Vice President Kamala Harris, emphasizing investment in manufacturing communities. So I don't know if this is good, if this is bad. I just see this right now as a political ploy, but I don't know if it's really being done for the reasons that we think it should be done. And the U.S. charges a British man over a hack-to-trade scheme. Yes, a British man, Robert Westbrook, has been charged by the United States authorities with hacking into the computers of 5 companies to access their financial data and making a $3.75 million through illegal stock trades. Westbrook's hack-to-trade scheme involved gaining access to executives' email to use insider information for trading before earnings announcements. U.S. authorities are seeking his extradition on charges of securities and wire fraud, and as well as computer fraud. He also faces civil charges from the SEC with potential penalties, including lengthy prison terms and the companies involved were not implicated in any wrongdoing, which is at least good to hear. And ladies and gentlemen, Uber terms the meaning of couples now that can't sue after life-changing crashes. So yes, a couple, this is a true story, Georgia and John McGinty, who sustained a life-changing injury in 2022, an Uber crash, have been told they cannot sue the company due to arbitration clauses they agreed to when they signed up using the app. Despite arguing they didn't realize these terms were waived and their right to a trial. The New Jersey Supreme Court upheld Uber's terms, which the McGinty's had accepted multiple times. Including once when their daughter ordered food through Uber Eats. The couple faces ongoing medical challenges and financial strain. While legal experts note that arbitration typically results in smaller settlements than a court trial, we're going to have to wait and see what happens. And I have one more juicy story for you guys. Catch this, right? YouTube removes Adele Nirvana songs due to an SESAC dispute. This is pretty juicy. So the SESAC is the Society of European Stage Authors and Composers. Say that a million times fast. Many popular songs, including hits from Adele, Nirvana, Kendrick, Lamar, and Britney Spears, were removed from YouTube and YouTube Music due to a licensing dispute with the SESAC, a performing rights organization. Now, YouTube stated that it was unable to reach a new agreement with the SESAC before their deal expired, leading to the removal of content represented by the SESAC in the United States. Negotiations are ongoing, and YouTube hopes to resolve the issue soon, although some songs are made available despite this dispute. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think what this really proves, like all of our content is licensed, our music and stuff, you don't ever want to take somebody else's content, like their music, etc., and then push it off as your own. That could be a really, really big problem. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you've enjoyed catching all this great stuff and enjoying your beverage or your snack. And you can always check out the latest tech insights at the J Moore Tech Talk Show by visiting BelieveMeAchieve.com for not only my tech shows weekly, for inspirations for your life every single day, for my short reels and all kinds of other types of content, even static social media content. Let me know your thoughts, engage, comment. I try to respond back to people when you engage with me, and I really want to hear your thoughts. Every single Saturday, we start a brand new master topic and we roll through the week. Also, ladies and gentlemen, every single Monday, we start a whole new tech track, and we go from Monday to Sunday. And this Friday, which is what today is, we reveal everything from Monday to Sunday in the show in a much deeper scale. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Mr. John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It's been a privilege, pleasure, and honor to be with you this fantastic, amazing day on Friday, October 4th, 2024, as we're slowly getting into fall. It looks like summer is gone. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, a wonderful night, a wonderful weekend. Like, love, and comment on all of my great stuff. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to see you guys real soon on another video. So take care, everyone. And if there's something you want me to cover, whether it's on the tech show or my motivational show, let me know. I'd love to get your feedback, and I love to give my viewers what they're looking for. So take care, everyone, and be well.